Hey traders, hope you had a great weekend. Today I'm going to give you a bit of a market update on all the indexes in this video. The Dow, the S&P, the Russell and the Nasdaq. I'm going to give you an update on all of them, and the purpose of this video is obviously just to share with you what I'm seeing, what's happening in the indexes right now and what may be happening moving forward. And so anyway guys, let's get straight into it. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There are so many areas you need to become good at to become a good trader. Emotional mastery, chart reading, trading systems, money and trade management. So this video is just educational only to help you become a much better trader. Alright, let's get straight into it right now. Let's actually have a look at the indexes and let's go through here. Obviously we had a big up week, a big up day on Friday. I took the week, basically Friday, Saturday morning here for me in Australia. But I basically took the weekend off, and I've come back with fresh eyes, and I said, okay, what's really going on here? And I've been really having a lot of thoughts about the markets and going from there. So let's actually do this here. Firstly, I just want to bring up this chart here. And I'm going to go to the daily chart first. I'm going to go, this is the daily chart. And you can see we've had this big upward move. So if I bring up all my trend lines here, let me actually just delete that one off. We can see that if I squeeze my chart right up, that is an area of resistance there, but the all-time high point that it actually got was up there. So it's interesting to see where the Dow Jones is right now. But if we're looking at the Dow Jones is very, very close indeed. If you actually look at that point through there, where he had a lot of points all through here, that's where the Dow Jones had a lot of problems, and it's there right now. Now, we need to see some follow through today. For this to be true, we need to see some follow through. The Dow Jones is not at its highs, but if I go to the S&P, I'm pretty sure has closed at its all-time high for the year. And let me just bring up the line chart here for a minute, and I just want to double check that. Have we closed or looks like we're getting very, very, very close to that all-time new high for the year. So obviously we had a good jobs number that came out, and we saw all that. So the good jobs number for the markets, and the markets took off to the high side, and now we're seeing a rally. Now, I am seeing that this market is now pushing up a lot higher. We're pushing up. We've just had this big break up, and we had a bit more of a volume. Not a big volume, but we had a bit of a volume rally. It's really hard to say what's going to happen here, because we have so much resistance here on the Dow Jones. It's like, do we keep rallying up and above? I don't think we're going to get to 19,000. We may break a new high, but I still say we don't see a 19,000. If we do break a new high, I think we're likely to fail and then break down. That's just my opinion though. Okay, that's my opinion. Now, seeing what I'm seeing on this chart, we can see we actually have all these different support and resistance lines. And if I just look at the recent support and resistance line, we can see how there's a bit of a channel going on right now. And let me just change this back to open, highlight, close, so I can, just allows me to see it a bit better for myself anyway. And you can see how we're actually in this overall channel to the high side. It keeps pushing up and pushing up and pushing up. And we see we actually bounced off that level, and then we took off to the high side. Now, looking at that, we had this point through here, and then we had obviously this big blast up. We're at this area, a lot of areas of resistance right now on the Dow Jones. Do we push up and see more highs today? Well, obviously that's yet to be seen, so we'll be waiting to see that. With the S&P, you can see with the S&P that the S&P's basically breaking almost above its new highs. You know, the all-time highs is up there, but when it comes to a close, yeah, you basically almost at an all-time new high. So another push to the high side tonight, we'll see a new all-time new high for the year. And this is just my opinion, guys. This is what I'm thinking here. I do think if that does happen, then you're gonna have so many people buying this market that I think we're likely to sell off at that point. I don't think we're likely to see, you know, a good massive rally. Again, I could be wrong with that, but I just don't think we're going to likely to see that. And you can see that's what's happening today. Now, looking on the weekly charts, if you look on the weekly chart, let me take everything off the screen here for a minute. If you look on the weekly chart, there's something interesting here. We had this big reversal up bar last week, okay, and then we had another up bar. Not last week, but the week before, we had this up bar with good volume. This one here didn't have a lot of volume behind it. You can see the volume is actually quite low, quite small. Again, we want to see a rally. We want to see a close. We want to see this thing follow. If indeed, guys, we do start to get this, and this is where the if comes into it. If we see a open and a rally back down like that, and we close there, that, guys, is a very bearish sign, and we're likely to use that as resistance, and then a break back down. So if this is a true breakout, a true weekly breakout, we want to see a weekly finish by the end of this week, move to the high side. Obviously, I'll be monitoring it and watching it every day, but that's what you want to see. If we do opening and we open high and then suddenly come straight back down, that is what I call a stop and reverse pattern, and it's actually a weak pattern. If we don't, and the market does, say, for example, the market does sort of open here, rally down, and then rally back up and continue higher, then that's actually quite a strong sign. And then you got to play it by ear, and then that's actually a bullish breakout. We've had a bullish breakout right now on a weekly chart, not a lot of volume, so we need to see follow through. If we don't get follow through, this is probably going to be a high point, and we're likely to have false breakout and then have a drop to the downside, because we need that follow through. In any full breakout, we need follow through. If we don't get a follow through after once, twice, 3, 4, 5, and then a breakout, if we don't see any follow through after this breakout, that is a weak sign overall, guys. It's not a bullish sign. So wait till you see what happens there as well too. Looking on the Dow Jones, same and similar thing. That we've had so many times of this market trying to break out, that for me as a trader, I'm watching this and saying, okay, we've had so many times to close above here, so many times to close above. And if I just do that, we've had obviously that point there, that point, that point, that point, that point, that point. So we had basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and now this is the 7th week. It actually closed above. That 7th week close above is a bullish sign. I'm not going to BS anyone here. Yes, I'm bearish long term on this. I have my reasons, but but technically, what's happening right now, that's a bullish sign, but it's not like a definite bullish sign. Why? Well, one, we have a low volume, and that's something you need to keep an eye on for. But secondly, we need to wait sure. Once again, guys, if this market opens, if it opens here and then starts to rally down, and we get a close right there, then overall we're likely to see this thing follow through, and that will be a false breakout, and then the drop will happen. But if we get a false breakout here, guys, and the market closes below that, this market is nowhere near going to 19,000. So fuzzy, you better be watching that pattern, because it's just not going to happen. This is a bullish breakout. This is the first time in 7 weeks it's penetrated that 18,000 level. There's that word again, right? Penetrated, and now we've closed above it. So we want to see the follow through. If we get follow through, then yeah, we who knows where it could go. It could go to 19,000. I don't think so, and that is just my opinion. But what I'm seeing on the charts right now is what I'm telling you. Let's go have a look at the other ones, like the Russell and the Nasdaq. So let's go to the daily Russell. You see the Russell actually broke up a little bit here, and we're not at the all-time new highs for the year, but we're getting very, very close to that. A big break up and a small little high trough, and we're breaking up. So it's looking quite strong here. Let's have a look at the weekly chart. And the weekly chart for me, guys, it's actually quite interesting, isn't it? Because you're seeing like this type of action. If I just like something through there, you can see how that line through there, guys, is definitely a line that I'm keeping an eye on for. But then we also have this point up through here, and so the market is definitely broken up. So we're broken up. Do we continue to get a breakup? I don't think so. And the reason why I say I don't think so is because I don't think that the market has spent the last couple of years doing what it's doing here. And again, guys, this is just my opinion. They create a left shoulder, a head, and maybe this is just a big right shoulder. Maybe that's all it is. and it's just doing this sort of action. That's what the Bollinger Band would look like, actually. You can see it's a big right shoulder, so maybe it's just forming a right shoulder here. I don't think we're likely to see some follow through, and in fact, guys, that's interesting. Even this volume bar was quite low, so as you can see, right, and then obviously you had, and it's interesting. This was the last time we had a low volume bar like that there, guys, on this Russell was that there. And then we had a bit of it looks like it was pushing new highs, but then we had a reversal bar and it came off a bit. So that's really interesting to see what's happening through there. And then also in the Nasdaq, guys, this is the daily Nasdaq almost pushing up through highs. Does the Nasdaq finally come and close its gap? This is the gap that I was talking about here before, like this gap here. Does it finally come and close that gap? This is going to be interesting to see what happens here, guys. We do have, this is that gap up the top here, and it's almost at that level. It didn't close the gap. Does it come and do that now? That's obviously yet to be seen, and we'll keep an eye on that. But overall, guys, this is just such a tricky area. Once again, low volume on a bullish up week. That's not a bullish sign long term. So. And again, you just got to keep an eye on for that. So we've seen this lower trough and we've seen this double top. We're at that point right now. We're at that point right now where we need to see follow through. I don't think we're going to get follow through because I think there's so much areas of resistance through here and seeing this lower trough that we're not likely to see the follow through. But as I said before, guys, we don't know, so I'm not going to preempt what's going to happen here. I'm just going to keep an eye on for it and watch it, because if it does fail here and we start to reverse, that's when I think we're likely to see some big down movement. But right now, guys, we're getting bullish breakouts, and if it does hold here and continue higher, then we're likely to see some more upward movement maybe during this week. And that's just what the charts are showing me. I think over the next few months we're likely to turn around. Even if the Dow Jones and the S&P do make new highs, I think that's going to be short-lived based on what I'm seeing fundamentally and so on and so forth. But yeah, there we go, guys. That's what I do see. I hope you really enjoyed this. Trade what you see on the charts, guys, not what you hope for. And that's what you want to. And as you're going through your positions and as you're trading, make sure every single trade you say, does this feel right? Does this feel right to take the trade? Am I rushing? Am I doing the right thing? And that alone will keep you safe. Remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, and face your fears today. I'm not going to BS you here. Trading is hard. Over my 10 years of trading, I've learned some amazing systems and strategies, and I've put it all in my brand new Grab the Markets by the Balls course. And I'm giving you 100% free access. This whole course is 12 videos long and almost 10 hours of the best systems and strategies that I know. Click on the image below now to get 100% free access right now.